he knows a little bit more as well, just like Paul. So it was more so Nate and Paul podcast, and there wasn't so much conversation with the others. And Paul was trying to initiate. It's more like a Q&A, which, there's no problem with Q&A. It can be very successful. Especially when you ask the right question and we start, causing an uproar about it. But
yeah, well, it's
obviously it's the first one.
First one.
Yeah, it's just the first one. You have to get all the nicks and kinks out of it, and plus to see how to warm up to it and see how they're going to react towards they know they're being recorded and they're going to act a little bit outside their box, their comfort zone. But I can't wait, because that's exactly what's going to happen with the next episode if I'm on it. I'm going to try to keep it a bit interesting. It is interesting with some of the topics, because I am interested in open source, Linux and whatnot. So, but I want to add a little bit of.
I don't mind Linux. I just, as an operating system, I'm not that I use day to day. It's not something I'm really willing to bother with. You know what I mean?
All I'm trying to say is I want to help Paul in his endeavor with this podcast, and I'm not trying to put any type of negativity on it.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
But I can guarantee you, though, if I was on the next episode, you'd be listening to a lot more than 10 minutes of it.
The only reason I listened to 10 minutes of it, I would have listened to the rest, but got what I was doing. I was doing something. It was just like, I'll listen to the rest. I never got round to listening to it again. Which is bad. The reason I went down here in the first place was because I needed ladders.
Oh, hi, big dog. He should totally get on Mumble.
Eat it. And that's what I was looking for. Yeah. I think what he needs as well, like on the podcast, I know it's mainly about Linux, but if they're going to discuss something like, say, the differences between Linux, Mac, and Windows, then they need to kind of have people that
a little bit more familiar with it.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's their preferred system and stuff like that. Like, just so that they've got all the views covered, if you know what I mean.
Oh no, I absolutely know what you mean, but it was kind of tough because you're just starting up your first podcast, and he's going off of trying to recruit whoever he can to talk into it. But I'm sure if he's resilient with this and keeps on going and doesn't give up, it's gonna work out. And it also depends on where he's posting the podcast, how he's presenting it.
Yeah, I did say that. He needs to try and post it as many places as he can. Because obviously, he knows that anyway. Because, like I said, me and him both listen to was a gaming podcast, and they were like, when they started, it was really rough around the edges. But they were always said, like, it comes down to getting people that listen to the podcast to spread the word as much as posting it as many places as you can, like iTunes and Zune and all that shit.
Well, yeah, it's sort of like what he said too before, that the first hour of a podcast, once it's posted, that's like he said, it was the most critical point for a podcast, whether it lives or dies, and that goes straight with. I would say within the first couple hours, because obviously everybody's not going to be able to.
If it's hyped podcast, up, yeah. But then, if you haven't been hyping it up beforehand, then it doesn't make much difference. The best thing you can do is just keep making them on a regular basis, like stick to a schedule, and then just get the word out, and then you'll slowly get the listeners. Because obviously, once you get into the habit, everyone that's on the podcast gets more comfortable.
Oh, absolutely.
And then and it's not really costing them anything. I don't think it costs to post podcasts on iTunes and stuff like that.
No, it doesn't cost anything. It's just you have to go through an agreement. You have to have a license, which he has a license.
Yeah.
You know, and whatnot. And then it takes time too. When you post it to iTunes, it doesn't immediately go live.
Oh yeah, I know that. That's what I mean. It's not costing them anything to do it, so the best thing is just to keep doing it. Yeah, it's not as if he's having to buy you like a microphone and stuff.
I said if he gets that far where he needs newer equipment, you just start a Kickstart. If you have enough backers that listen to the show, you'll be able to get some money for equipment and whatnot. Jeez, say it's for me. I like to start things like that, but I just never go through it because I start it and then I either get busy with something else or something else just completely gets in the way.
Yeah. But it's that looks right. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's no, it's not right. Yeah. I will see how he does with his podcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty eager. I'm glad that he is going to let me pop on.
Yeah, I think
we'll see how it goes.
The other thing he needs to do, I think, is obviously he's got his talking points, but I think he needs to give them to people a couple of days in advance so that obviously they can get a chance to read up and
do some research.
Yeah, and then formulate an opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, like I did suggest, I said, you know, maybe at least like once before you actually do the podcast, we should just have a meeting about what we're going to be talking about and try to think of some ideas.
Mm-hmm. Right, well, that's the thing. Obviously, there may not be news every week and stuff like that.
Yeah, but communication's going to be key. Communication is going to be key. So, Paul, if you're listening to this, if I decide to keep this in the video, just take this criticism as constructive criticism. Although it's not criticism at all.
No. It's my XP. Ah, there it is. Is he trapped in the bookshelves? Wow. Okay, that's warning. Don't end up in the bookshelves. Oh wow.
Bye.